Hi, welcome to Convos with Charlene. And this afternoon, I have with me Julie Turney, who will be sharing a lot of what she does as a people champion. So, we want to ask you to grab your cup of coffee, get your coffee, your tea, your juice, your water, your wine, whatever it may be, grab your cup of coffee and join us. So we're going to speak right now just for a short while, and Julie is going to share with us her approach as a people champion. Now, I have Julie bio with me, and Julie, as I said, is a people champion. She's an HR performance coach and HR disruptor, actually the host of Disrupt HR for the Caribbean. She's also a public speaker, and Julie has her own podcast, HR Sound Off Podcast Show. So we're really, anxious and excited and really thrilled to have Julie with us today. So, Julie, glad we have you. Welcome.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Charlene. I really appreciate it. It's really good to be here.
It's always good when HR people connect. First, not first, but second and third, let me introduce myself for those who have not connected with me before. I am Charlene Pedro. I am the founder and chief engagement officer of Convos Consulting. That's an HR boutique firm that has CEOs and managers improve their people and the performance of their organization. I am also, and really that's what brought us here, I'm also the founder of Conversations Over Coffee with Charlene Pedro. It's an exciting breakfast seminar, breakfast meeting, breakfast training program with a difference that seek to inform, engage, and inspire CEOs and managers and professionals so that they can go back to their workplace and make a positive impact. So Julie is my guest right now, so we can speak about employee engagement and how HR practitioners, how HR managers, HR directors can work with their C-suite to bring about positive change in the organization, particularly in these times as we have COVID-19 that's still with us. So Julie, please, before we get into the meat of the I'm going to say in the afternoon, but really the meat of the conversation, share with us your journey in HR and why do you love HR so much?
Oh, my journey in HR started 15 years ago. And funny enough, it wasn't my intention to get into human resources, but it's actually through the encouragement of a mentor that I had who saw something in me I didn't see in myself and thought that I was really good with people and asked me if I would consider looking at the profession and maybe entering the profession. And after doing some research and trying to review this profession called human resources, I then decided, okay, I was going to give it a try. And I got my first job, which was in administration, but then propelled me into human resources. And I've been in human resources from then until now, and I haven't looked back. But one of the things that really struck me about the profession as we've continued to evolve as a profession is the importance of focusing on creating people first cultures and people being engaged in the organization. Employees are super disengaged and organizations don't know what to do about that. The why of it and the what to do about it are two things that can be fixed, but it's taking the time to do that. And it's, do you want to take the time to do that? And do HR professionals really want to invest in that along with their managers to fix this problem of disengagement? And if anything, out of COVID, we have learned the importance of engaging our employees as they work from home, but we've also learned the importance of what happens when we micromanage our employees from home. And so all of these things came together along with this big melting pot of misconceptions that people have about our profession that just really made me want to set the record straight. And I've been on that journey to clear up the misconceptions and set the record straight and get people focused on creating people first cultures. And that's where I am right now in my journey.
So definitely a disruptor, Julie. And
Definitely.
you boldly say that you're setting the record straight.
Yes.
Um, and as we set the record straight, how do we work? I was sharing previously that particularly in this COVID environment, we understand that executives will be busy revisiting, revising their business plans to ensure the survival of the organization. How would you recommend HR work with the C-suite, with the CEO and all the other chief officers um, to ensure that employees do not fall through the crack or are forgotten out of that plan as we focus so much on pursuing and um, revising our sales targets and just zeroing on the sales? How do we ensure that HR works together with the C-suite so that we can still serve our people?
So I always say it's really important to recognize that your organization's success cannot happen without the people. You could create all the strategies in the world, but if your strategies are not people centric, human focused, and I stress on human focus, you cannot succeed if you're creating a strategy that is not human focused. And when I say that, I mean focusing on the fact that your people are going to have good days and bad days, but that your people want to connect with the purpose that you have overall for your organization. They want to know what their contribution means in the grand scheme of things where the organization is concerned. And when we put the two of those together, we get an engaged employee. They want to know that you're allowing them to be creative. And as HR professionals, we sit in the perfect seat between employees and
Yep.
leadership to convey those messages in a way that people can appreciate and go along with. And that's not to say you're going to have a perfect situation anytime. You can't please everyone. And that's the first thing you need to recognize as HR.
Yep.
We cannot please everyone. So we can't please every employee and we can't please every member of our leadership. What we try to do is strike a happy medium that says, okay, this is where the energy is. That's where we want to focus it. So when you have people who are willing to go along, then you focus your energy there, and also that you give your leadership the necessary tools that they need in order to be successful. HR has been known for years of just being people telling you what to do. So you should do it this way and you should do it that way. But how about if we create a toolkit and we coach our leadership on how to use these tools effectively, and then we let them go off, use the tools, and create and innovate and add to our tool base? That helps for our happy medium because then we're not telling them what to do. We are creating together. We are working together to create a better workforce. And I think that these are the things that are going to help us propel as we go forward in future proofing our careers as HR professionals. And also, that feedback from employees is key as well. All of those things come together will help us to have a better synergy within our organization.
Julie, I just love your examples and your suggestions. Um, and you spoke about future proofing, well, your position, future
Yes.
proofing HR, because surely this is an opportunity. What an opportunity with all its chaos and with all its, well, doom and gloom and the sad news that we have around us. This is really an opportunity for HR to step up, as you say, for HR to step up and be counted. What an opportunity to bridge that gap between employees' needs and executive needs. What an opportunity to focus on giving executives, as you say, a toolkit so they too could understand what the people need so that they can move accordingly. So we're kind of coaching, taking a role of coach in that regard.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
excellent suggestion, Julie. Um, do you think that there is, in addition to that opportunity, what about the HR professional themselves? How do they, um, as a professional, how do they use this opportunity for growth?
So I think that this is a great opportunity for HR professionals in terms of understanding the business of the business. When you are creating your business strategy, HR then has to create their HR strategy, their
Yes.
people strategy. And this is a great time for you as HR to understand how the real dynamics of your business. What is your business ecosystem? How do you make money? Why do you lose money? What are you what are the key factors that keep your CEO up at night and building that relationship? A lot of times we just want to come in and do, when sometimes we have to take a step back and take a breath, and we have to go, do I really understand this machine so that I can interpret that information to the organization, to employees, to help them understand where they fit in? And a lot of times we don't know all of those answers. If I ask, an HR professional from an organization, like let's say Digicel or Flow, like, do you understand where your LTV versus your LTC is? Do you even know what that means? Do you understand, when your company loses money, where are the first places they look to cut and why? Do you give them data to help them understand why it is important for them not to cut certain things? The fastest thing we cut is learning and development, or we cut recruiting. And then we start to let go of people. We don't think about the people who are left behind and dealing with their mental health, or we don't even think about the people we've left behind and the workload that they're going to end up having to deal with, and if they have the bandwidth to deal with it realistically. And all of these are things that we should be thinking about constantly, so that we can help our organizations to see why it's important to do the things that we want to recommend that they do. Data is king. That was the other thing I wanted to mention. Data is king. Um, Data recently shows that engaged employees who are focused have opportunities to grow and innovate and create in their organizations, increase a company's profit margin by 26%. So if you think of your profit margin being $1 million or a multi-million dollar or $1 billion company, and you are losing 26% per head count, and you think about how many people are making at your organization, and you're losing 26% because you're not engaging those people, can you really afford not to engage them? And it's when you come with that kind of information and you help people to see, well, then what do we have to lose if we don't do this? What do we have to lose if we do it?
Yes. And, the approach you're taking, Julie, understanding the business, one, because I always say, how could you contribute if you don't know what you're contributing towards? You must understand the business. And then you must speak the language. So we talk about 26%, contributing 26% to the bottom line. If we start to speak that kind of language when we have those conversations with the C-suite, with our CEO, our president, then there's a different type of respect for HR,
Yes.
rather than just the soft skills and the soft stuff. Not that the soft stuff is not important, but to
Correct.
communicate value, we have to speak in their language.
Correct.
Julie, I know we are gearing up for conversations over coffee that I'm hosting on December the 11th. And I know you attended the last session. Now, Julie is a new friend, and I was so grateful for her support for the last session. So, Julie, how did you find, what's your feedback? We haven't spoken about it for quite a while. What's your feedback and your experience at the last session in May?
So let me tell you this. From the moment that you advertised that you were doing a virtual conversations over coffee, I was so overjoyed. I was like, every time I see you posting these things happening live and direct in Trinidad, I'm like, how am I going to get to Trinidad? Is there ever going to be a chance that I'm going to be in Trinidad for conversations over coffee? And when I saw the virtual conversations over coffee, I was like, I am jumping on that bandwagon. It was amazing. I really enjoyed, the way that you engage the audience, even though it's virtual, it still felt very real, and it still felt like you were able to connect with the audience. The information that you shared was very timely, very much needed as we're going through COVID-19. And the fact that you took the time to go virtual when you could have just said, I'll just wait until my country open up and then I can host them again. The fact that you extended it globally, I think, speaks volumes to your desire to connect the HR community across the region. And I can't do anything more than applaud you 1,000 times for that.
Julie, thank you
I
so
am
much.
so grateful for virtual conversations over coffee. And I even think that when Trinidad open up all over again and you start doing face to face, you should keep it virtual. That is me putting in my plug for selfish plug for virtual
That's a
conversations.
good idea. And I want to thank you so much, Julie, for attending and your support. I always tell people I feed off of my people when they're there. So when I get hyped, it's because I'm really reflecting the audience. And you know, we're doing it again on December the 11th. And of
Yeah,
course, I would love to have you there. It's on a Friday, so it's a good day of
I'm
the
already
week.
registered, my friend.
It's a good day of the week to jump on, and we're going to have it equally excited. Yeah. So, Julie, share with us what you are up to these days. What projects are you working on? I know you're always up to something.
It's true. So at this point, I am trying to complete my first book, which is called Confessions of an HR Pro: Stories of Defeat
Wow.
and Triumph. And it's a collection of stories from other amazing HR professionals, yourself included, sharing your experiences, sharing our experiences about working in the HR space. And it's the book that I wish I had when I was considering entering HR. And it's a book that I hope that people will be able to use as a textbook going forward. That's one thing. I am, as you said, I'm the host of Disrupt HR Caribbean, and that's Barbados, Trinidad, and Jamaica. We are now going into hosting Disrupt HR Caribbean Barbados Edition 2.0. That's coming in February. And we're hoping to host Jamaica and Trinidad later in 2021. So I'm very excited for that.
I am too.
Um,
Can't stop smiling.
Yes, I've just taken HR Sound Off to YouTube. So
Wow.
I promised that when I got 10 episodes done, I would take it to YouTube. So it's been on for a little bit, but now we're expanding a bit to include one-on-ones, and we're going to do champion moments. I'm going to be introducing something called champion moments, where we're going to be talking about how you can champion for your organization. And I'll be sharing champion tips and tricks. And yeah, that's what I'm up to right now.
Okay, now I know folks will probably wonder where you get all the time. Uh, it just was to show when you're passionate about something. I always tell people you find the time for what you
Absolutely.
really want to do. You know,
Yes.
it's not about deleting your goals. I always say in this COVID environment, I call it a like a Netflix series. So
Mm,
this COVID series, it's not really about deleting your goals. They may be delayed,
yes.
but never deleted.
Delayed does not mean denied.
Yeah. So I applaud you, Julie, for all that you've been able to accomplish in this season. You really
Thank
are an
you.
inspiration for us looking on. I'm so happy to be in your circle and your network.
Thank
So
you.
if other people want to try to get in your circle and network, where do they find you?
You can find me on any form of social media, but I mainly hang around LinkedIn.
She lives on LinkedIn, folks.
I live on
That's
LinkedIn.
where we met.
Yes, I live on LinkedIn, but I am also on Twitter and Instagram, Facebook. And my handle is the same everywhere. I am Julie Turney. I
Yes.
am Julie Turney, my name.
Julie, thank you so much. And
Oh,
we
pleasure.
will definitely check in with you again as we wrap up. Remind folks to connect with their people, for those HR practitioners to connect with
Yeah,
their people, to allow them to connect with their C.E.O.s. And we also remind them that you have support in your HR community. So,
absolutely.
Julie, thank you very much. And we will catch everyone with our mug, with
Yes.
our coffee cup.
Mm.
Mm. Next time. So tune in next time with Convos with Charlene. Ciao
See you.
now.